going on, Robert Rossi?
Not much here, Bevo, or as they say in your neighborhood, Brian Volaton.
Brian Volatile.
Yeah. So what's going on
Not
with
too
you?
much. I mean, a lot has happened since the last we're on camera.
We had a break the last time we were on.
A little mini hiatus.
Yeah, and I had to go out of town and go photograph up in Maine.
It's lucky, man.
No, it's not lucky. It's all work because you have to have samples so that your students, or at least my students, will be able to come in and brag about me.
I'm not
because
buying
of it.
It was so hot down here.
Oh, it was. Let me give you a temperature.
You were saying the temperature was pretty cold.
No, it was cold, but it was at 64, and that's cold. That was in the daytime, and at night it was 49.
At nighttime?
Yeah, at nighttime.
That's kind of perfect. You just stay in the house.
And I slept like a baby.
Drink some cocoa or something.
So what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Raising Unmanageables. I'm Bevo.
And I'm Robert Rostick.
And this is episode, what is this, 64?
64, okay, good.
Thank you, Alex, for the assist because I was about to mess that up. Almost said 68, which just quantify that I cannot do math at all whatsoever. So, episode 68, and we have 64. Shit.
64.
See, I already fucked it up. And we got special guests in the studio today. We have, of course, Alex Zadarazny, and she is directing the show today.
And producing
the show today. So she's kind of our boss today, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. And then we
have...
have...
You know, last time I had a female boss?
It's been a while for me, too.
Yeah, I got fired.
I quit.
I understand.
Yeah.
But we're here to stay, even though she's directing. So.
Absolutely. So she's done a fine job setting up everything, and that light's kind of crazy, though. But we'll rock with it. She brought a couple of friends with her, though, too.
Uh-huh.
She has Riley and Macy.
Macy and Riley, yeah.
Not to be confused with John C. Riley or Macy Gray. We're not that fancy yet.
No, not.
Plus, that would be a crazy pairing of people today. If the word
it would be a little odd, but
a little bit. But anyway,
enough of the small talk. What are we going to talk about? What did she assign us to talk about today?
Well, Alex today she wants to know more about having passion for what it is that you want to do, and if you should go after the things that you're passionate about and try to turn those into things that you want to get paid to do. But then there was a caveat to that of. How do you not turn your passion into? How do you not diminish the spirit of your passion?
Okay, that's important.
Once you start to get paid for it.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into that and
see.
How do we do that?
See, let's start off by saying this. I don't believe in passion.
You don't believe in passion?
I don't believe in passion
of any sort, or when it comes to work.
And I don't believe it's sustainable.
Okay, because I'm like.
Okay, so you get a passion. Yeah, you get a passion. And people always say, you do this because it's your passion. And I go, no, I do it because it's my freaking job.
Right, okay.
And that's what we want to explore today. Mm-hmm. Why passion is not just, it can't be reduced to just a job. Okay. It can't be.
It can't just be the job.
Yeah, it can't be.
Because sometimes when I'm looking at the things that I do, a lot of them are things that I'm quote unquote passionate about. And I have managed to turn them into my job. Right. But I think the difference is that I'm doing specifically the things that I want to be doing in there to where there's nothing else I'm not doing what other people want me to do inside of what my realm of passion is. So
a lot of us are, though, because we're working for companies, corporations.
Yeah, and you have to kind of do that at that point. But I still think you can, if you're depending on the job, you can figure out some way to put your spin on it and to make it a job that you want to actually be doing. But if you want to work from a position of passion and a position of entrepreneurship, you have to be doing it on your own, I think. Well, but break it down for me because I want to hear your opinion on it.
Now, I start off by saying this, that I don't believe passion is sustainable.
Okay.
Right? And then I'm going to turn around and contradict myself to say how it is sustainable.
I have seen this happen before.
But at least I let everybody know what I'm doing. I'm contradicting myself. Oftentimes, what we do is we have this thing that drives us because we're interested in it. We know very little about it. and it excites us.
Right.
And then we start pursuing it. We start researching it. We start actually doing it, and
Okay.
it makes us feel really, really, really good. And we do a little bit more, and we do it a little bit more until someone else recognizes it. The moment they recognize it, they sort of put you on the map in a sense. And then they turn around and say, I want you to do it for me. Whatever it is you're doing, designing, music, photography, writing, whatever it is. Say, I want you to do it for me. And you're ready to do it. I mean, hey, yeah, I'd love to do it because you want to get the experience out there.
Sure.
You do it. So you do it and you have a good time doing it. Then you present it and then they change it. They water it down. It's, oh, well, I want it to be like this. And you've already done all the research. You've done all of the interest, the focus, everything about it, and put it into this deal. And they start watering it down. And they're friends. And then at the end of it, it's not really what it is that you had initially produced. Then you get jaded.
Right.
Not only that, the next part of it is that someone hires you to do it.
Okay.
Now you get excited again.
Because of money.
Because there's money involved, absolutely.
Right.
Dineros or whatever you call those things, dough, whatever. So you get excited about it. And then the process happens all over again. They water it down to the point that it's not really what it is that you had actually put out. And then we use the term, well, the client's happy. I got paid.
On to the next one.
On to the next one. And then that thing that we started calling passion is no longer passion.
I see where you're going.
So that's my argument.
So is it a matter of fulfillment versus passion, or those two different things? Or I think when I think of fulfillment in this moment, I'm thinking about doing something I may be passionate about. But being able to do it in a way to where I'm happy at the end of that process, right?
I just realized my hair is getting into my mic again.
It's always.
But anyway,
I remember I used to have hair.
I apologize for stopping your train of thought.
For rudely interrupting.
Oh, I mean rudely interrupting.
So crazy. Anyway, fulfillment. I think like fulfillment is / happiness, right? You have to be happy with the work that you're doing so that you can keep pushing through when those times come when it gets the wind taken out of your sail. You get the life taken out of it, and your passion kind of dies down a little bit. You kind of have to have those scenarios where, am I still happy doing this? Is this still the thing that I want to be doing 15 years from now, 20 years from now?
Absolutely.
Although it may tweak itself a little bit, and you may branch off and do things similar to it, but try to find those things that you're actually interested in, and they bring you fulfillment earlier, which is, to Alex, with a lot of respect to her, she's kind of found that already. She's in this industry, or she has a lot of interest in this industry, and now there's just a ton of places for her to go in there, from directing to writing to storytelling, all those things. And so she'll be able to, if she stays in this path, she'll be able to put herself in these different areas where it may proceed past her passion, right? Where she'll be able to find fulfillment being able to do all these other aspects of this film industry.
Now, here's the thing about where I want to contradict myself.
Please.
I think that we tend to lose the passion because we give up the responsibility of the drive, the drive inside of us. We treat a job as though it's not passion, meaning that if you work for somebody, that works, you turn yourself into a worker.
An employee.
Yeah. Instead of your own boss. Now, if you turn it around and say, I am the boss of that, all that I produce, then you're working for yourself against yourself.
Even in that job?
Even in the job.
So finding something that you can put yourself into. And then like, so what I'm trying to understand, so even in that instance of working with someone else, you're still trying to figure out a way that you get fulfillment out of that.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to be pretty self-aware for that.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
If you make yourself the boss of whatever project there is,
Mm-hmm.
and that you are producing for that project, even if it's team oriented, that you are a separate entity within that group,
Okay.
and whatever you produce is part of your product, then passion can sustain itself. What I mean by that is that, okay, you and I are working on something, and we're working for someone,
Mm-hmm.
and they put us together.
Mm-hmm.
My deal is to say that whatever I'm going to produce is going to be quality work, and not just work for the person.
Okay. So what you're saying is you have to have a vision for who it is that you're trying to be. That
Yes,
you want to
absolutely.
be, right? So not hanging that hat on passion alone, but hanging that hat on here's what I want to be, here's who I'm trying to be or want to be every time I show up to do a job.
Absolutely.
So now that's just flipping it around to a way different perspective. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think a lot of times we look at passion as this fire that has to be burning in you, right? But if we're looking at it from this perspective of this is my vision for myself, and no matter if I'm working for someone or if I'm working for myself, I'm still going to give that quality work or a certain quality of work, and you can expect that from me, like it or love or hate it.
Yes.
Okay.
And the greater part of that is that when there are changes, you work with the person and not against the person. Oh, they wanted changes. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see how I can accommodate a change and still make me the boss of that change.
Gotcha. So I like to reiterate, because I learned these things as well. So focus a lot of attention on your vision. I had a lot of wine last night.
Oh man, don't even mention
sometimes
that.
my brain doesn't like it's like.
Oh, don't even.
I should have waited. I should have just waited till like tonight.
Jeez.
Oh God. Anyway, so find out where what your vision is for yourself, and then always show up as that person.
That's exactly
so. That's
right.
just a matter of not just passion, but that's integrity.
That's a whole package.
Yeah. Okay.
And that
so
package,
it's loaded with a lot of other things.
And what's driving that passion? That package is your passion. The passion to make a better you and to make a better product from you.
Right. So
doesn't matter who you're dealing with.
If your goal is to be the best filmmaker, and you have a set of personality traits or skill sets that goes into that, and you get to determine what that is, you're going to be the best filmmaker because of A, B, C, D, and E. And you put that all into your package, that's how you show up every time.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's what I think is what I'm hearing.
And even if the company or the organization cuts the cord from you, you're still your own entity.
Right.
Because that's how you've been working. You've never been an employee. Ever. You've always been Robert Rostick, the creator of whatever.
Right.
And so that's how I feel, as though passion can be sustained.
Yeah. No, I love that. And because I've never looked at it that way. I've only ever looked at it as passion as like an emotion almost. And it's that thing, it's fickle sometimes because it is an emotion. And as soon as someone like steps on it, then you're offended by it. And as soon as the client chooses blue and not red, then you're offended because you've put your emotions into a decision that you made for them. And then they've changed their mind, and now they've hurt your feelings because now it's a direct reflection of the decision that you made, right? And then your passion gets diminished, and then you're jaded. But if I'm showing up and I'm going to be the best creative coach, because
that's exactly what you are.
Because of I'm going to spend the time with you. Relationships are important to me.
Absolutely.
If I have to touch anything with regard to being a designer for you as well, I'm going to give you the best design based off a process of us working together. That's
the whole thing about it. Even in a corporation, I'm working with you. My brand, Robert Rostick, is working with you in order to produce this.
Right.
And I am not the absolute all ending. And when I'm not that, I can then say, you step on my red or my blue. It's not a step on my red or blue. You have convinced me that this is a better way to go for the circumstance. And
Right.
even if it does or does not work out, I'm going to put all of Robert Rostick
Mhm.
into that product and project,
Mhm.
no matter what.
I find that interesting because Alice was just telling me a story about being able to walk into a business type situation and being able to negotiate, what's a scope of work and then price, right?
Right.
And then having the confidence to do that is based on a bunch of different variables, right? It's having the knowledge, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's number one.
Right. But she is gaining that knowledge by being in this space and then showing up, always knowing that you're going to do a great job. You're going to produce a great product no matter what. And so I'm imagining as she's telling me this story, I'm smiling in my mind a little bit because I'm like, that's the whole point of all of these things, right? Is to learn how to, it does come down to confidence a lot,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
You have to have a lot of confidence, even if you're just going to school, going to college, because you want to be able to walk into those spaces and get out of it what you're planning to put into it.
Not cockiness, though.
No,
No,
not
it
cocky.
can't be
No,
cockiness.
it's confidence, right?
And confidence is based on just that,
Right.
what you know and what you are willing to bring to the table.
Right.
If you're willing to diminish something that you're
Right.
bringing to the table because you don't know, that confidence level goes down.
Right. I mean, confidence, where confidence is important, since we're on that topic, is when you get a job, and especially as females, women are notorious for not asking for the money that they want.
Or what they
right?
deserve.
Or what they deserve.
Yeah.
Right? But if you know what your skill set is, you know what value that you're bringing to the table, you put that dollar sign on the table and then you let them deal with it. And then you figure out how to negotiate from that point, right? So it goes from cockiness to just being confident in your skill set
and one
what
of
you
the
know.
worst things that people can do, men, women, or anybody walking into an environment, is to not put on the table what it is they want. Oh, I'll take what you give me. Well, I'm a little afraid to ask for. No, you put it out there. And it doesn't mean that people are going to look at you differently. It means that you're going to put a number out there that they can see a target to go toward.
I think where I'm thinking of a scenario now where I have like an old dude moment, and I'm not that old yet, but
I am that old. An old dude.
You're definitely old, but you don't look that much.
It doesn't matter what I look. Every time I climb a set of stairs,
your back hurt.
Yeah, my knees hurt, my back hurts, my eyes hurt.
I was starting to get that, and I was
but
like,
anyway, we digress as we always do.
I gotta go work out. No, but to a younger generation, a lot of the times you're trying to figure out where to get that confidence from, and a lot of it, I think, when I need help with my phone, or I'm trying to learn a new app, and the other day I was like, I'm gonna figure out how TikTok works because that shit is stupid. So I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna jump on here, and I'm like, all right, cool. I got the app. I pushed the button. I'm like, all right, dude, 1 second video. That sucked. And I hand the phone to my kid, and she's like, "Oh, you do this, bam, 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 bam." This one is 12.
12 years old,
right?
Okay, yeah.
So she's always. But then my older kid too. I hand it to her because she'll tell me, like, she'll just cut me if it sucks. So I'm like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" She's like, "That's trash." Bam. But the confidence though, right, is because you guys are always in the technology realm. You don't know anything outside of that, right? So you already have that confidence built in. And if someone needs a note, you can take their phone and show your grandma how to use Instagram, or show them how to use TikTok without any reservation about if you know that subject matter or not, because it's always just been in you. So it's the same thing with everything else. Is the more you know about it, the more confident and the more value you bring to the table without having to search for that information.
That's correct. And the thing that I know about confidence, one of the things that I see people lacking, is that you have to start to learn to make your voice be heard.
Yeah.
oftentimes what we do, and we
What
do,
does that mean?
and
Though?
we go in and we
Does
say,
that mean speaking louder or?
it starts with how you speak.
Mhm.
How you speak. Miss Jones, Mr. Jones, I think I need a raise. And you cower, your shoulders go down, your eyes go, and you kind of mousy to look up. Rather than Mr. and Mrs. Jones, these are the things that I've done
Mhm.
in the past.
Mhm.
These are the things how I've improved on whatever it is.
Mhm.
And here is how I've been playing as a team.
Right.
I think that my skill set warrants either a promotion or a financial gain.
Okay.
And here's the number that I'm looking at.
Right.
And see, that's the part. I want a financial gain, and then we walk away. No, it's I like a financial gain, and that's 8,000 more a year.
Mhm.
And here is how I
Mhm.
can make the company 10,000
Mhm.
if you give me 8. So
Yeah.
you're two grand above,
Right.
or whatever that number is. So that means you've done your research. You understand your value.
Mhm.
And once you understand your value, your shoulders go back, your head comes up, and your voice gets louder.
Right. And then you're able to start. You can play in that industry longer without burning out,
Oh, absolutely.
without being slighted by your passion at that point. So the flame doesn't burn out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So there was a second point to Alice's question, but I forget the second part of it.
What was the second part of that?
When to be done with the project.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we got a couple minutes.
Yeah,
so
we got a couple minutes.
Let's jump on that one. So we're past our 5-minute mark, but let's
Okay.
jump on that one though, because that one's hella important.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of those things where you it's experience as well. It's a confidence thing as well.
Mhm.
And jokingly, I say one of the best ways to know when to stop a project is always having a deadline.
Having that deadline.
Yeah, as soon as you have a deadline, it has to go. No matter how good or bad it is, it has to go. So you have to make decisions based on that. I think this is a specific question I asked him when I was moving to Las Vegas,
Mhm.
when you helped me move to Las
Right.
Vegas.
Yeah.
And I was like, Robert, how do I know when I'm done working? Because I can work on one project for the rest of my life. I can design one logo for the rest of my life and just
Mhm.
work in that space for a long time. So he told me, and I was thinking I wanted to go out into business for myself at that point. He was like, just the fact that you're asking me that question tells me that you aren't ready to
That's
do this
correct.
for yourself.
Yes.
So it really there wasn't like a magic bullet or a silver bullet. It was just the experience, gaining more experience and knowing that once you get to a certain point, there's a certain amount of criteria that got you to that point, and that you have to accept for that job to be completed. So I guess what I'm saying is like not just having a deadline, but then having a strategy as well, as far as what that job is and a process. So every time you check off a box
Mhm.
for that process, you're getting closer to that job being actually finished.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No job is ever perfect.
No.
No job is ever
At all.
perfect. So you can seek perfection to whenever.
Mhm.
But there are jobs that are complete.
Absolutely.
And then when it's complete,
Yeah.
it's done.
And Seth Godin says it that you have to know how to when to ship
Yeah.
and
absolutely.
how to ship. So that's the difference between an employee or an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
right? Is at an entrepreneur stage, at every stage really, you have to know how to ship your work. You have to know when it's completed,
When it's done.
right? And if you don't know that, other people will tell you for you, and then you'll learn that you don't like that scenario. So you're going to determine that for yourself. So that's important. That's an important question though, because I think it happens to. We kind of come from that scenario when you're younger.
Mhm. And everybody doesn't see all the flaws that you see
Hell no.
because they didn't build it.
Right. But if you're a perfectionist, you pay attention to all those
Yeah,
details.
it's important that you pay attention to detail
Yeah.
because that is who you represent.
Right.
However, at some point, the job, as you mentioned, has to ship.
So in closing,
Mhm.
wrap this up for me.
And I do want to thank Alex for putting on a great show here,
Please.
producing it,
Absolutely.
and coming up with the topics,
Absolutely.
lighting it,
Thank
and experiencing some of the things that we experience when things go wrong.
Yep.
I really, really do love that she is a young person that's actually pursuing something at this stage of her life, and I hope to see her do more of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want you guys to understand and know that in order for something to happen this way, you have to be a little bit unmanageable, just a little bit. And Alex has shown that you can be unmanageable.
Absolutely. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Raising Unmanageables, episode 64. I'm Bevo.
And I'm Robert Rostick.
Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.